well done you. And like, I'm sure there are going to people at your school who think you're amazing and want to be your friend if they don't already. So, you know, just like, yeah, keep being yourself. Like, it sounds so amazing.
Now, first things first, we all have to say... Very good. Very good. If you're listening right now and you're wondering what that is, you have to see It's a Sin. All the characters say hello, basically, by doing that. How did that come about, firstly?
So that was a real thing that Russell T Davies, the creator, writer of the show, him and his friends used to say "la" to each other. So that's why it's in the show.
Oh, I really did wonder if it was something like that.
Yeah,
it's just such a nice little touch. Yeah,
I know. Ollie, congratulations. I've messaged you about this, but congratulations on It's a Sin. The show is massive for all the right reasons as well. You're raising so much awareness around issues facing the LGBTQI community. And it's so nice to see something like this trending for the right reasons, seeing it on our screens as well to make such an impact. We're going to talk about it more in a sec, but there is something I have to talk about. Elton John.
Elton John.
Yeah, Sir Elton John to you guys.
So you caught up with Sir Elton on his Rocket Hour podcast. He is a massive fan of yours. I mean, is it a weird thing in your life to wake up and go, do you know he's a fan of me? Elton John.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It was the most insane conversation I've ever had. Actually, he called me out. I got a message from Russell saying, Elton's going to call you. I'm going to give him your number if that's okay. And I'm like, okay, sure. So I'm just there waiting by the phone, like, when's Elton going to call me? And then, I got just this phone call from a random number. And it's like, hello, Ollie, it's Elton.
Oh, no. What is he wearing? Like, what? Do you know what I mean? Like, how is he sat? Is he sat just like, is he like all of us on a Zoom call? Like
were you going to say, is he sat at a piano?
Yeah!
On the Zoom.
He's got style, though. You know, he was in a Gucci, little Gucci polo shirt number, some glasses, of course. He was with David, his man. Like, I was loving it so much. I mean, what a legend.
That is so cool.
That is unreal.
Ollie, this now makes me want to ask this question, right? Have you been contacted by any other famous celebs who are a big fan of It's a Sin? I'm talking like Rihanna levels.
Oh, no, but you know I'm waiting for Rihanna.
Come on!
But I actually did a live stream with Ian McKellen.
Oh.
Last night on TikTok. So that was amazing. He was so nice about the show, and just to talk to him, you know, oh my gosh, he's done so much for the LGBT community for decades, and you know, he co-founded Stonewall, so that was really great to do that, and you know, talk a little bit about LGBT History Month, which is coming to an end now, but yeah, it's just been phenomenal. Like, and thank you so much, Roman, and all of you guys for, you know, just the response has been like amazing. So I'm really, really touched.
Mate, 100%. And also talking to Gandalf, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So cool.
So good.
All these sir clangers that you just dropping on us. There's going to be one more before the end of the interview. There is. Ollie, I've got to ask. You film a lot of, let's just say, steamy scenes. Okay. Now you're looking fit at the moment. Was there sort of a regime that you had before filming this? Because this was filmed at, am I right in saying, the beginning of lockdown?
We finished filming before lockdown started, just before. So it actually started towards the end of 2019. And I guess do you know what? I've been on tour for just like the past a year beforehand. So that kind of just keeps you fit. Like, you have to be fit on tour. So I think I was in that state, and I actually had a little bit of a tan. So that was another good thing for those sex scenes.
I see. Ollie, like, they are full on. Like, these scenes, they are seriously full on. And you know what? There's moments in it where it's so funny as well, like literally, and you make us laugh so many times. There's so many awkward moments in there.
Oh, it's brilliant.
But I'm going to ask, did you watch the whole thing with your parents?
No, I didn't, basically. But I did speak to my mum about this. I was like, Mum, just so you're, you know, I actually told, you know, my family that there was going to be some intimate scenes, and my mum actually just was not bothered. She was like, I don't care, Ollie.
Oh, love that.
Lovely.
Love that. It is so good.
Face her.
It is so good.
Thank you so much.
The show, It's a Sin, it is fantastic. So much so, my mum, I texted you about this, my mum actually thinks you should win a BAFTA.
Oh, bless her.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
No, mate.
you know.
Man, honestly, the show that has started so many important conversations as well. You know, just looking at a couple of the talk topics that is around it. You know, I think especially within the kind of younger LGBTQI community, obviously it's set back in the 1980s, kind of like follows up through into the 90s as well. And it deals with so much of the discovery of HIV and of AIDS and what it was like for those suffering at that time.
Yeah, I think for me it was weird actually. Before watching the show, I didn't realise how badly people were treated back then.
Yeah.
Because the 80s doesn't seem that long ago. And you sort of think, I can't believe it was like this. Did it feel quite a lot of pressure for you, Olly, especially as a lad who was young, you weren't around in the 80s, to sort of get that message right and that portrayal right?
Yeah, for sure. And you're so right. It's an area, it's really not that long ago, but it's a time in history that is so misunderstood because so much happened in silence. So there really was so much about this time that just got brushed under the carpet. And unfortunately, that means lots of us kind of don't really know that much about this time in history. And so that doing the show was like amazing opportunity just for me personally to also kind of understand this time and add to my knowledge and information. And it's really helped me understand sort of like how I've grown up in the wake of this, you know, because I grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s. And so a lot of the things that happened in the 80s, like Section 28 and the kind of laws that came into place that stopped LGBT people from being able to be like spoken about at school, you know, that was still in place when I was at school. So do you know what I mean? So it's like this domino effect. And so, yeah, I'm really just, there is, you know, just, it's such a hugely important story and there's so many more, you know, that needs to be told. But it was a real, like an honor to be a part of it.
My mum and my dad, they watched this and they were obsessed with it. My mum and my dad both said that they were in tears the whole way through watching it because it reminds them of, you know, they were living in London through the 1980s and the majority of their friend group was gay, you know, were gay and were part of the LGBTQI community. And they said it just wiped out their friend groups. Because it's not just something that, you know, that they could wipe out and people were almost like, you know, feeling sorry for the people that were sick, but it was a taboo thing that not even their parents wanted to talk about it with them. So it was so hard. And look, I'm super lucky now because obviously from that terrible time, I've kind of been able to grow up in a family that is really accepting, a very privileged family like that. I mean, what was the kind of experience for you like, I guess, growing up?
I didn't know any gay people. I didn't think that they really existed where I grew up. And I was really ashamed that I would be gay. So I was really like, I just didn't come to terms with it for quite a while. And I think that's a real combination of sort of like not, you know, seeing yourself represented necessarily. And also being at school, you know, if there's any homophobic bullying, you know, I was bullied and called, you know, names, including being gay, but there was nothing that, you know, a teacher could do about that because they, you know, really they weren't equipped to handle homophobic bullying. That's taken time. My mum, she's so supportive, and as soon as I did come out to her, she was like, oh, of course, you know, like that's fine, I love you. But I think for her, you know, we had a conversation about this as well, and it's in the documentary I made for the BBC, Growing Up Gay, where I asked her, you know, you must have known I was gay growing up, and she kind of says she didn't almost want to acknowledge it. She thinks she had a bit of a blind spot because she didn't quite understand in herself like what that meant. She was scared for me, and that was a really beautiful, like I thought, admission, like a bit of honesty from her, and that helped me understand how she felt, you know, as well. So there's a lot of things, a lot of conversations, you know, that have to happen, and it's all so different for everybody. I have a great mom, so I'm lucky too.
What I will say, it's been great for so many young people to see themselves and their stories be represented by your character in It's a Sin, but for parents as well, that, you know, it's opened their eyes to the acceptance and the impact that it could have. Have you been contacted by anyone that this has made a difference for? You know, I'm sure you've had loads of texts or tweets or whatever.
Yeah, I've had a lot. Funny, yes. Lots of people messaging me, you know, on Insta, on Twitter, and just saying that the show has really moved them, or, you know, right from younger people who have no idea that this had happened, or, you know, and from people that lived through this time but didn't know what was going on, but also families like connecting over the show and having a conversation they might not have had before. So that is like amazing.
You must be so proud to be a part of that.
I'm so proud. I'm just so proud of the show. You know, I just really like, from the moment I read it, I loved it. You know, I love Russell, but also that everybody in the show is just obviously amazing actors. Like that, obviously, when you watch it, you'll be like, wow, everyone's amazing in it. But they're such great people, you know, and they really care about the message behind the show. And so it's just been really amazing to be part of it.
It is absolutely fantastic, and I just want to talk about one last thing, just quickly, because this was an amazing thing, and again, this was something my mum had to call me about and tell me about it, because it's a major thing, right? And I'm just going to tell you this stat, right, because it is unbelievable. So during 2019's HIV and AIDS testing week, 8,068 people checked their HIV status. This year, after It's a Sin, that number was beaten in a single day.
Wow.
It rose by 600% in people getting themselves tested.
That is incredible.
Oh.
That is how does that make you feel, genuinely?
It's amazing. It makes me emotional. You know, I heard that stat, I've heard it before, and it made me really emotional, made me cry, because that's a real tangible thing. You know,
you've changed people's lives, yeah.
Which is just amazing. It's just amazing. I'm so happy, like, more people getting tested, more people knowing their status and talking about their sexual health. And it makes me really happy. And I'm so pleased.
We've been contacted by someone who is a huge fan of you and your role in It's a Sin. His name is Ruby. He's a 15-year-old trans male who said the show has been absolutely life-changing for him.
Hi.
You watched It's a Sin with your mum. So, I mean, tell Ollie and us, how was watching the show together, how has that changed your relationship with your mum?
Made us closer and, like, opened up the conversation of who the LGBTQ community, like, are, and, like, how they were treated and how they're still getting treated now. But we both cried the whole way through it. It was very sad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all did. Ruby, were there any scenes in particular, though, that meant a lot to you personally?
It's the scene where one of the characters was told to go through the library and take out any books mentioning the LGBTQ community, and the whole speech on how there is none, like, there, and how it's a stigma against the community, and how, like, no one was getting educated about it. It meant a lot because, like, when I was in, like, year 9, I kind of just, like, decided I, like, needed to leave my, like, old school environment. It was just, like, taking a big toll on me, and I just couldn't, like, cope. So I just want to say thank you, Ollie, for, like, raising awareness about the issue, like, kids like myself still face. So thank you.
Oh, man. I want to... Ruby, sorry, I want to ask just really quick, Ruby. So what? So what exactly was it that was going on at your school? Why did you feel like you had to get out of that environment?
Got bullied for, like, how I looked, because I look different from what everyone thought I was.
I was bullied at school too, like, right up until year 9, year 10. Things got better for me around year 10, actually, because I feel like things changed a little bit, but. And I was, because I look different as well. Like, I would come in on, we would have days where we didn't have to wear our full uniform, and I would just come in wearing, like, clothes that were really colourful and wearing chokers and, like, putting makeup on, and which I wanted to do because that was, like, how I felt to express myself. But it made people pick on me, and it was, like, really hard, you know what I mean? So I feel like you've done the right thing by, like, addressing the situation and going to a different school. So well done you, and, like, I'm sure there are going to be people at your school who think you're amazing and want to be your friend if they don't already. So, you know, it's just like, yeah, keep being yourself. Like, it sounds so amazing.
Oh, that's
really
awesome.
Nice.
Ruby, I have to say, as a 15-year-old trans male, obviously you've been through your ups and downs. You're already still so young as well. It's a Sin has helped start so many conversations, but what are your hopes, I guess, for the future and the education of it all? Not
having to worry about constantly explaining themselves and being afraid of being attacked for expressing who they are.
100%.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so
Amen.
important. Amen to that. Ruby, you were born in 2005. What do you make of the old 80s fashion?
Well, the hairstyles are, like, unique and questionable, but, like, the style overall.
I've got photos of my dad dressed up as Peter Pan going to a nightclub. Let me tell you, it's still not that. Yeah. It's, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, so the 80s music as well.
Oh, the
was pretty good.
soundtrack to that.
Yeah, the soundtrack was good. Although a bit of Spandau Ballet might just be... Could have been a bit more Spandau Ballet in there, Ollie.
Oh, here we
It
go.
could have.
Oh! There was definitely a bit of George in there.
It wasn't me. I didn't make any of those decisions.
There was George Michael in there, so
Yeah.
I'll let you get away with that. But no Pepsi and Shirley, no
I
Spandau.
love Spandau Ballet. I love it.